The water that was here when the Earth was formed is the same water we use today. With the help of microorganisms, nature has protected this natural resource so we can use it again and again. Think about it this way. We're still using the water that was in the lakes during the time of the dinosaurs millions of years ago. At Metro Wastewater Reclamation District, we use our special friend called Metroamoeba to explain how microorganisms clean the water. While our amoeba is large and animated, microorganisms in a laboratory can only be viewed through a microscope because zillions can live in a very tiny space. In a moment, we'll explain how these little creatures and many others help us do our job. But first, how does our water get so dirty? We use water for a number of daily activities. To name a few, we flush toilets, wash our clothes, shower, brush our teeth, then wash dirty dishes. It's estimated that each person in the United States uses about 80 to 100 gallons of water a day. With a lot more people living in our cities and towns, we now generate more wastewater than nature can clean. With so much dirty water, it's necessary to send it to facilities like the Metro District's Advanced Treatment Plant, where we treat nearly 130 million gallons of water a day. We use modern technology to clean the water, much like nature does, only more quickly. The dirty water that leaves houses, schools, and offices travels through 232 miles of interceptor sewer pipes and enters the plant at the headworks to begin the treatment process. The first stop is the bar screens, where big things that went down our toilets and drains are removed. We find a lot of rocks, rags, toys, and even false teeth. Next, smaller solids like sand, grit, and coffee grounds are removed in the grit basins so they don't damage our equipment, especially our pumps. Many of the things removed in the first 2 steps of the process are taken to landfills because they cannot be recycled. Now it's on to big settling tanks called primary clarifiers, where more of the smaller solids are removed after they sink to the bottom of the tanks. Grease that enters the wastewater treatment facility is skimmed off the top in this 3rd step of the process as well. Keep in mind that most of the grease in the dirty water comes from the food we eat. We remove a couple tons a day. The wastewater that is left travels to large pools called aeration basins, where the waste becomes food for amoebas like our Metroamoeba and the many other microorganisms that live there. Nitrogen and ammonia are also removed in this step of the process. When the water flows to the secondary clarifiers, the sleepy bunches of microorganisms that ate the waste clump together and sink to the bottom. Eventually, they're removed and used to make biosolids, a soil amendment that helps farmers' crops grow. We'll talk more about this process in a minute. By this time, the dirty water that first arrived at the treatment facility looks much cleaner, but it still contains harmful microorganisms or pathogens. Disinfection is necessary before the treated water is sent back to the South Platte River. At the Metro District, we use a chemical to kill the harmful microorganisms. Just before the water flows into the South Platte River, it tumbles over man-made waterfalls called drop structures to add oxygen for the plants and animals. About 20 species of fish live in the South Platte River north of Denver. The water we release daily is safe for human health, wildlife, and the environment. Eventually, it will all be used again. Remember all the solids removed in the primary and secondary clarifiers? They decompose in the anaerobic digesters. Anaerobic means without oxygen. During that process, friendly microorganisms kill the pathogens while also producing methane gas. The methane that is captured powers gas turbine engines that generate electricity for the treatment facility. You can think of these as jet engines for helicopters. The amount of electricity we generate is equivalent to the electricity needed to power about 4,000 homes. The mostly organic matter that is left eventually becomes biosolids, the soil amendment we talked about earlier. Recycling biosolids completes nature's cycle. The main thing to remember about the Metro District is that we protect the environment by cleaning about 130 million gallons of water a day so it can be used again.